Ah, okay, I don't think we're live yet. Someone just go on YouTube, check TerraX, see if we're live. Oh shit, it does say we're live. Someone check the Twitter. Okay, 0 viewers so far. Where do I get a link for this shit? Let me maybe get it from the Twitter. Okay, and let the boys know on Telegram. Someone Skype comments, just in case we get some questions. I'll probably gonna have to check it on YouTube as well. Okay, so wait for a couple more guys to join. Okay, 13 viewers. Shit, guys, we're famous. Okay, well, I think we can start. I just want to bring up the YouTube on my other side here. Twenty-six viewers. Okay. Um, I don't know if that is just people that have viewed our Twitter post. YouTube's slightly delayed. Okay, yeah, I think let us commence with the stream. Um, yeah, so guys, we're pretty much gonna redo the spaces we did the other day for those that have missed it. Essentially, chatting about our launch, the roadmap, and the community, the input the community's given us, and where TerraX is going from here. Um, Obviously, quite a few of you guys know we launched on Friday, not even a week ago, and the response has been absolutely unreal. We really didn't expect to have 1,000. How many users are we on now? Probably close to 1,002, 1,300. And the pay, yeah, if you can get me those numbers, how much was it? Yeah, almost 1,200 users in 5, 6 days, guys. That is unreal. And yeah, the payout pool expected everyone's expectations, sitting on like probably close to 3.5K. I haven't looked, I've just come back from gym. But yeah, no, it's absolutely unreal. The community's been great, guys have been supportive. One or two minor hiccups along the way, but things are really looking positive. Um, Josh, anything from your side? Oh, wait, hold on, guys. Give me a second. They can't hear you guys. Let me just see here. I'm looking at the I think it's probably the Twitter chat. Um, oh yeah, the boss said the same thing. Sorry, guys. We can build a game, but streaming is where we call it. Um, no, no, guys. It's not your audio. No, so I'm just speaking to chat here. Source. Oh wait, hold on. I think here. No, this is not it. Hey, hold on, boys. I think I've hit gold. Okay. Route audio to the central channel. Jeez, guys. This is monitor only. Oh, hold on. Here we go, boys. I mean, I wish I could keep you guys on mute, but and just chat by myself, but here we go. Okay. Chat, can you hear everyone else? Guys, speak.
Yep.
We're not your doing
Hey
monkeys,
guys.
man.
Let's wait for some
Chat,
positive feedback.
can chat hear us?
Chat, anyone? Is anyone out there? Blue, DJ the boss. Maybe we've lost chat as well. Can you
OBS.
hear the other guys? Okay, finally, there's life out there, guys. Okay. Yeah, we probably should have started with introducing ourselves. Kelvin, we left off with you. Actually, we're
Sure,
probably
yeah,
gonna have to
well,
restart because they haven't heard any of you guys speak.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, yeah, Kelvin, go ahead.
all right, yeah, sweet. Thanks, Zach. So, yeah, I'm Calvin. You will have seen me on the Telegram chat as well. Um, you know, engineering, worked with the team from the beginning on this one. We're all passionate gamers, and yes, it's been a pleasure working on something from scratch. Great to see how people are using the game, playing, finding different ways, and all the feedback's been great so far. So, yeah, great to have you guys.
Okay, Dan, over to you.
Hey guys, I'm Dan. I work on the blockchain side of things, and it's just really good to see all the feedback we're getting. I think, as Hercules mentioned earlier, it's just beyond all of our wildest expectations to be this busy in the first week, and you've definitely kept the dev team on their toes, trying to keep up with all the
No
fixes
sleep,
and
no sleep for
suggestions.
you
But
guys.
also just want to say thanks. We've had positive feedback, and we want to work with the community. We want to create something really cool here, and it's just nice to have you guys from the beginning, basically a part of it with us. So nice to meet everyone.
Okay, Josh, over to you.
Yeah, amazing guys. Hey guys, Savage Noodle over here. That's my long-time gamer name. But yeah, I'm your chief game balancing officer. So everyone who's losing their muscles in their fingers, I do apologize. But yeah, I basically do everything from game balancing to the UI, the UX, so all the pretty stuff, everything you guys get to see, interact with, and most of the game design. But yeah, back
Okay,
to
uh,
Herc.
thanks. Yeah, so I mean, guys can figure I'm Hercules. Yeah, so initially, let me give you guys a bit of a backstory. So, I've been in Titan X, the coin that this is all built on, the crypto that it's built on since about day 18. And best tokenomics I've ever seen. I've been in crypto since 2017. Absolutely blew my mind. And I think a lot of the times the problem guys have is they decide to build something before having the idea, and that always leads to a failure. Whereas I delayed it, and I spoke to Dan hundreds and hundreds of times, like, what can we build? What can we build? And then we finally came across this phenomenal idea, and it just clicked. Knew exactly which guys to bring on, and yeah, these are the guys that have been brought into the project. They've all been there since day one, and yeah, I think everyone is very, very excited about the future of TerraX. The growth has been actually almost more than what we can manage. We might actually have to look at getting, I shouldn't say this too loud, my Telegram DMs are going to blow up, but getting a community manager, because it's honestly, it's just too much. That Telegram pops off all hours, all day, every day. But it's still positive feedback. Um, so yeah,
Yeah,
that's it from the launcher side. Yeah.
yeah, we've been getting so much feedback from you guys. It's insane. Like amazing ideas from everyone in the chat. Just shout out to everyone there. You guys have all been super positive, and like a lot of the game design mechanics you guys are bringing forth is really, really nice and really, really cool. I'd have to say, from just our community alone, have been really rad so far.
Yeah, you can see there's some hardcore gamers in the Telegram. The ideas that they've given us, we need more time. There's so many cool ways this can go. I mean, just the one that one of the guys posted today is essentially TerraX acting as a proxy DAO where it's not completely decentralized, because obviously TerraX isn't completely decentralized, but where users can pay, let's say, 1,000,000 Titan X for a vote. Users can only vote once, and then they can vote on the next feature being developed. I thought that's very, very cool functionality. And then another idea, I don't think this will work, but I mean, a guy thought of, why don't we let users artificially stake the Titan X in our platform, and then they passively earn ores at like, whatever ratio. These really are phenomenal ideas, guys. We love it. We'll give out some forms later this week or next week. We really want your feedback. It's pointless us building out what we want to build out if that's not what you guys want. That's essentially our ethos. There are a couple of check boxes that we have to tick first. I think a main one would be a leaderboard. We can't get
Yeah.
across, we can't get away without a leaderboard. You guys, especially the couple of whales we've got in the system, you guys know who you are. They want to see that they've mined the most blocks, done the most damage. Users love these kind of statistical feedback mechanisms. Even just showing a user how many mines they've mined. There's all these cool things that we can show them. It's really not difficult. We've just had to tackle a couple of bigger fish this week.
Talking about content and updates coming, let's chat about the little event we're gonna have running. We just kind of slipped that in and hope people would notice, and obviously people did notice. But yeah, let's chat about that.
Yeah, I think it was crypto nobody. It was definitely a bit of a stealth launch. I wanted to see how long from the merge or the push guys would detect that, oh wow, there's something new on the market. I swear it must have been 3 minutes. This guy's like, oh hey guys, I think there's an event coming. I was like, wow. That's pretty impressive. But yeah, just to give you guys a bit of context of this event. Events won't happen very often, but I think this is a great way to continue this momentum that we're on. If you guys take a look at what's that website, the Play to Earn, we're on
PlayToEarn.com
such a,
and
yeah, yeah,
Radar.
yeah, and DAP Radar, yeah, we're on such a good trajectory. We've got to keep this momentum, especially with the new players coming in and having engaging content. So how this new event will work is that the numbers could still change, but initially how we have it figured out and designed is that there's 5 of each item, limited supply. The pickaxe will be slightly better than the silver pickaxe. The sword will be slightly better than the warhammer. And the initial ones will go for about 300 million Titan X, and then each additional one off that would be an additional 50 million. To incentivize guys buying it first, but also to have it at a price point where it would make sense for you guys to resell. That's kind of what we're aiming for with the rarity as well. These items will never be made again. So humans tend to gravitate towards, even if it's artificial rarity. It does have more intrinsic value than the other items.
But obviously these pieces are unique and they're event based, and they will be collector's items that you keep, resell, or do whatever you actually want to do with them, which is the cool part. I don't think any of these items won't be ever up for grabs ever again, basically.
Yeah, and I think some cool functionality or mechanic we could add to the sword and start bringing this into new items is the crit mechanic. So this is something we'll discuss as a team, but I think a lot of users have asked, what about this, what about that? But a crit mechanic was kind of common amongst a lot of my DMs. So yeah, I think that could be something unique. Also, obviously, drive up his value a bit. And yeah, I think the community is really going to love it. And then,
I think the other thing.
Josh, yeah,
So I was
go
just
for
going
it.
to say, one of the other things we spoke about quite early on, and I've seen on the Telegram people talking about how, you might buy a Warhammer or you might buy this, legendary axe or whatever it might be, and for the next 10 events, you're just at the top of the leaderboard because no one else has that item or no one spent that amount of money in game, and you kind of dominate the battle rankings. And something interesting we spoke about at the beginning was introducing this idea that battles each week we could have almost elemental or some sort of uniqueness to the boss. And you'd have to continue to forge and to participate in the market mechanics in order to ensure that you're always at the peak of your powers during the battles, right? Because what worked last week won't work this week, right? So introducing that kind of variety, having to go back to the mine and mine certain or having to get a certain artifact in order to get that extra elemental damage, that kind of makes sure that people continue to participate even once they've got that item, if you get what I mean.
Right.
Yeah, that'll
Yeah,
come into
I
our
love
rune
that.
crafting update, which I'm looking forward to balance.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
luck.
no, of course, of course.
But yeah,
Um,
why don't let's chat about how our nice little free part of the update will work is the gingerbread men, which I think is quite cool, where everyone can participate.
yeah, Josh, do you want to walk in through that one?
Yeah, of course, man. So essentially running in parallel with the new items in the store, but we'll be running a event obviously open to every single participant within the game itself. But basically, with your pickaxe, it will be a luck-based chance, but you'll have a chance to drop while mining is gingerbread men, and these guys can be collected. There'll be an item appearing inside your inventory, and then you can take them in the store and you can redeem them for these gift boxes. Obviously, the numbers and the items we're going to put in them, but I can say it won't be any of the weapons and tools that you'd find in the current loot boxes, supply chests that we currently have, but it will be resources and other unique items we'll put inside these gift boxes that you can redeem.
Yeah, I think that's a very, cool and simple way to gamify the mining process just one step further. Because I mentioned on the Telegram today, but I mean, there's been thousands of messages in there, a lot of guys that have missed it. Is initially, I mean, it's not a mistake because of how we anticipated the launch to go. We didn't anticipate 1,000 users in 5 days. So purely through that, the max amount or this mass amount of users that have joined the platform, users have gotten way too many loot boxes. And I think this affected the market in a way that we didn't foresee. Because if you always want to have a perfect or try to have a perfect symbiotic relationship between your paying users and your free users. And I think we kind of distorted that towards the free users having more of an advantage. There wasn't as much of an incentive for guys to be like, oh wow, these loot boxes are, it's worth departing with my Titan X or with my ETH, because they just got, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these a day, depending on how active the miners were that day. But now with us having removed these random drops based on luck, I think it has had an effect on the markets. I have been seeing, more sales go through, more guys saying, "Oh, call this, call that," speaking about the ingots. I think doing that has definitely activated the market more in a sense. But I think, and a lot of the guys in the Telegram have agreed and sent me messages about this as well, and I think we've all spoken about it, is we'll need two different kinds of loot boxes in the next, in the short term, where your luck will determine how often you get a resource loot box that won't have any weapons in it, it won't have any tools, it won't have any artifacts, but it's just a way to give the user a bit of a serotonin release, but also give them additional ores. The values might be higher than what they currently are to compensate for the lack of tools and weapons, But then the loot boxes that we sell or that you get from a global drop, those are the ones that will contain the weapons, the tools, the artifacts, etc. I think that's maybe the way we'll move forward with this.
But I also think, luck is not going to just be these box bound. We're going to release tons of content, tons of updates, and there'll be many other drops, I think, that will potentially also drop out of ores, and I think your luck can also modify that stat so you can have a chance to get an array of certain drops per se out of a drop pool, which will be quite nice to see once we get to those content pieces and those content updates, which I'm quite looking forward to. Is obviously, I think we all are, is getting to eventually our end goal, which is the land update. I think that's the opus magnum. Maybe you want to talk us through that, Herc, what our roadmap to land actually looks like, maybe the systems we're going to put in place first and the ones we're probably already working on, and where we're going.
Yeah, so I mean, guys, just before I get started on that, if you do have any questions or concerns or just things you want addressed, please feel free to ask in the chat. Let me check YouTube. We only have two viewers on YouTube. That's fine. So yeah, I mean, the land is kind of what everyone is asking for, and it's like when land, and I can speak about how we currently have it, thought out. It definitely needs a bit more refinement. Maybe in one of the next streams, I'll do a bit of a demo because I already built out quite a bit of the land, just the UI side of it. But essentially, how we're thinking of this working is the current menu bar on TerraX will be reduced significantly. You won't have the forge, the mine, the market. I think it's probably those three: forge, mine, market, and battle as well. You won't have those four on the menu. Those will all be reduced into the explore in the explore page. On the explore page, the user would actually have a figure, an icon, an avatar that they would have to then move around the map to go to mines, forges, markets, and when the battle's live, they'd have to actually move to the battle. If the movement is going to take like X amount of time per block is still what we'll iron out. But essentially, users can then buy mines off the store and actually go and place them on certain plots of land in the world. There'll be a very limited amount of mines, probably 4 mines, 4 forges, 4 markets, and then the users that own the mines would own passive resources. Let's say a percentage of what the users mine in their mine, they would get out passively, daily, hourly, however it works. And then for the forges, if you own the forge, you would get a portion of the upgrade fees. If it's 50%, we can iron out the figures. We'll get some community input on that. But then,
I think just to double back there on the forges, I've seen this as a question: is don't worry about your forges. Everything you've purchased, you're going to keep. Those just form part and parcel inside the new update. So don't worry about all your forges you have purchased. That's not going anywhere. Just to tackle any concerns there.
That'll still be passed on into the next forge. It's just kind of these will now be passive revenue streams for the owners of these lands. And then also, I think a market could be a bit tricky. I think this could be like for quite a bit of a later stage, but where there will be different markets on the map. And the owners of these markets could set a different tax rate. And then you could, for example, rather want to go sell it here instead of the other one because there's a lower tax rate, but that market might be further from the spawn point, so it has less users and less traffic. It's really going to gamify our little ecosystem. And also, obviously, create arbitrage opportunities. I mean, guys in crypto live and die by arbitrage. So there's, guys, the the opportunities and possibilities are limitless. So yeah, I think the land update is what all the guys are really excited for. And price-wise, guys, we have absolutely no idea. It's obviously quite dependent on the Titan X price when we do release the update, and also how well the game does. If we have 100,000 users, that's the land's probably going to go for like 10 billion Titan X. So it's largely dependent on those two variables.
Yeah, but I think in the interim, there's a couple systems we're going to get in place before them to make land It's basically, if you ever played Settlers of Catan, which is a fun little board game, or played some sort of MMO games with large amounts of land and lots of traversal, you can kind of think of it in the same way. But a lot of the systems we got to put in place first before that makes sense is probably like a level system for user progression and leaderboards and certain things like that. I'd say, Eric.
Yeah, so I think player progression for sure. Um, and then potentially lock items based on player level. That's a common mechanic. It's as old as time.
Yep.
A lot of guys have raised this question in the Telegram. Can a guy just join Saturday afternoon, buy whatever item, do a lot of damage, and not be a net positive to the ecosystem? Um, if the market is priced accordingly, that shouldn't matter. But we also want to safeguard our players, and it's up to us to make this as fair as possible. So level locking some items is something we'll have to refine. It's not a definite yet, but definitely player levels, daily quests, daily login quests, leaderboard, stats page, refining the market slightly. I think users want to see a bit more historical data, recent activity, recent trades. Obviously, all our testers missed the issue of we're not displaying the damage on the market. So yeah, that's something we have to sort out. That's an easy fix, but yeah, we've just had some other things to tackle,
That's
and I
definitely
think
definitely something I'm going to be working on. Is a crafting screen so you can see the recipes themselves and what the items actually do, as to what Herc was saying. Just
yeah,
to give an idea what the item is before they make it and invest all the resources into it. And maybe I'll even
yeah,
actually on the website is make a secondary page where I'll list all the items with the recipe and the actual stats around the items. And it can be I can update it as items gain new stats, new traits, and as we progress the game. It could be quite nice.
yeah, of
Can I
course.
just jump in and say that it's also really exciting for us that we're bringing a lot of users from Ethereum straight into Titan X. So about 30% of the deposits we've received have come from Ethereum. So we've also got quite a good conversion rate going for people. A lot of DMs on Telegram of people who don't actually know how to buy Titan X. So offering that entryway in has been really useful.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
think, I mean, I'm probably speaking under correction here, but out of all the new protocols that have launched on Titan X, I don't think any of them have come close to bringing even just eyes on 1,000 new users. I don't think, I mean, our support in the Titan X ecosystem isn't as strong as what I would have hoped, but I mean, us having support outside the ecosystem is actually probably better. Bringing in new users, and then slowly, we might have to do a bit of a Titan X hub page on in the game. Do we want to do that? Do we not want to do that? That's still to be decided. But everyone's like, why Titan X? What's Titan X? And we give a brief description on the website. But we might be able to gamify it slightly more.
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think
Uh,
in terms of what other events do you think will be running throughout the year, apart from obviously the Christmas update?
So Christmas, I think, is obviously inevitable. We'll do the inauguration, the American inauguration, in January. That's pretty much just a month from now. Then there's probably going to be a bit of a hiatus of events. Obviously, we'll do a Halloween, probably not St. Patrick's Day. Um,
Fourth of
also,
July.
yeah, maybe 4th of July. Yeah, user inputs in that is massive. If they think this will be a cool event to do, 100% we're on board. And we want the community to feel like, wow, these guys actually listen to us. Because a lot of times the devs say that, and then the devs just still do what they want to do. And we've it's not our first rodeos. We know that when you build what you want to build and not what your users want, the product fails. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's why you guys, the chat, if you guys got any feedback, I know the stream is probably lagging by like 10, 15 seconds or so, but if you guys have questions or any feedback, you just want to pop in the chat, we can discuss about it right here on stream as well.
I mean, yeah, I think another thing we should touch base on is TerraX.fun. How did
Yeah,
that happen?
no idea. It came up quicker than a weed in my garden.
It's honestly I'm shocked. Like as soon as you get involved in crypto, like there are scammers around every single corner. If you sleep for one day, you've been mimicked. You've been replicated. You've been scammed. Whatever the case is. So yeah, for those that don't know, guys have replicated our entire site, the TerraX.win.
Just to be safe
Obviously,
to say, it's not the game; it's just the front-facing website. So don't worry, the game is secure.
yeah,
We've got security, firewalls, everything.
but I think that's just for now. If they see our success, they will replicate the game. And I think we have refined. We we're disrupting the way that these clickers work. Clickers haven't previously been able to build a robust economy. They've tried, but either the game isn't engaging enough. Um, I think they were just too flawed. And it's funny, like a lot of them still have a massive, massive user base, but the engagement is low. So yeah, I think we've really, hit the nail on the head with this. And yeah, I think a lot of our users and players tend to think the same. Just to see what chat is saying here. Any update where we can see the total amount of ores we have mined? So Calvin, assist me with this, but I don't think
Yeah.
we'll be able to
Not
tell
as
you
great. Yeah.
retroactively.
No. So the way that the algorithm works is we don't track every single click on the back end, as I'm sure you can imagine. That would be quite chatty with over network, etc. So we're sending each OR event to the server, and all we're doing on receipt of that event is we're obviously randomizing the drops that are generated off the back of that based on the user's equipment, the ore that's being mined, etc. And the user's inventory is updated accordingly, and then we obviously return new blocks for the users to mine. But we're not kind of tracking historical activity on the mining front at the very least. A big part of our focus over the past few days has been putting in a lot of that audit trail more on the financial or kind of balance affecting transactions, shall we say. So yeah, definitely something that we can look into. It's not too big of a change to put in place. It's just an extra kind of collection under the user. But yeah, at the moment we can't
Just to jump in,
do it.
Blue's asking, know your total ore that you currently have in your inventory. He's asking, is that possible?
Yeah. The materials in your inventory, we can know that pretty easily. And to be honest, on the UI, we could just sum that up from the inventory. That's pretty simple to do. But from the how much have I mined historically from the start of the game, I won't be able to retroactively go plumb that through, because we haven't been incrementing the kind of counters for those. So what we can do is we can start tracking that soon. If that's something that people are interested in from a statistics point of view, we can put a patch in and start tracking that kind of fairly imminently.
Yeah, I think that'll be huge. Crypto
It
couple,
was
firstly, congratulations on a very successful launch. Will you consider doing referral rewards? So I think referrals will most likely tie into, Josh, assist me if I'm wrong, they will tie into your user level and quests. So for you to say, for example, get past level 10, you'd have to refer 3 friends or something like that. That's not verbatim, but it's most likely what direction you'll be heading in. We don't want to do a Titan X referral because that's very easy to exploit, and also we don't. Potentially, we could do a loot box, a resource loot box. If you refer 10 people, we can give you a proper loot box. This is stuff we can iron out our side, but I think that
100%. And
is
And I
Yeah.
think by the we get to that content piece, I think we'll have a lot more items and ores and stuff in the game, even probably before that. So we can even look at different rewards that possibly even come along to add into that journey of rewards, along with being an affiliate, with leveling, and so forth, which I think will be really cool.
Yeah, there was a couple of things that people on Telegram were also asking for associated with user, the user profile mechanic as well. Things like adding a name and, your profile pictures and stuff, which we already kind of started to cater for. So just beefing that out into the user profile page and allowing people to refer through there. I think, what we do want to do, given at the moment everything's based on the wallet, is not be too loose with it and just go create a bunch of wallets and refer yourself a bunch of times, right? So we got to make sure that we do these things in the right way, and it's kind of holistically thought through.
Yeah, I mean, so I think if we want to do the referral properly, it would have to be based on, do the people that are referred make transactions?
They have to do
Um,
something within the game first to for it to tick a box, I would say.
yeah, because if we don't do that, it'll be a net negative on the ecosystem. You know, this with these kind of play to earn games, you've got to have a very fine balance between, like I said earlier, your players that pay and your players that have enough time that they don't have to pay, but they kind of end up on an equal standing. And as soon as one of those gets imbalanced, your economy tanks. And
Yeah,
then it takes quite a bit of effort to start flipping it in the other direction. So
but I think
I think we'd, yeah.
I was just going to say, that I think the good thing, right, is we're kind of monitoring the pulse of the Telegram, the sentiment from our player base to say, what are people feeling like it's too easy or too difficult, so that we can gauge some of that, right? And we're also looking at the data, I think, so many times a day, trying to see what are people doing a lot of. Does that seem a bit skew over there? Does it seem a bit weird that this item has gone for this amount in game? These sorts of things. So we kind of get a sense of that, but we do rely on the feedback, guys. So keep that coming so that we can see what people are finding out of sync and out of balance.
Oh, so actually look at this suggestion. That's Blue's on it. So you could use the first forge purchased as kind of the trigger for a successful referral.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, right? Because marketplace transactions are strange. You can buy one coal from yourself on another wallet if you really wanted to, and that denotes
Mm,
a transaction. But a forged purchase is material enough and almost demonstrates an investment, not in just trying to exploit the mechanics, but you're buying a forge almost means you're trying to set yourself up for the long run. Whenever I see kind of the players in game buying forges, that means they're
Yeah.
kind of setting themselves up strategically. It's not a short-term play. So I quite
100%.
like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think initially a lot of the players that understand gaming and grasp the benefits of this economy and sorry, the meta of this little economy instantly went bought all four additional forges. They
Yeah,
realized from the get-go this is the easiest way to game the system. And then,
yeah.
we saw that data and we were like, hold on, hold on, hold on. We've got to increase
This
these
is too
prices slightly. Yeah. And, this is how we'll continue balancing the game. We're very data driven. As soon as something's skewed, obviously input from you guys is very valuable, but, data also doesn't lie. And yeah, so that's kind of the reason, or yeah, why we increased the forward prices. We saw that the value users were creating. I mean, a couple of guys, their forges are running all five forges all day, every day, and that's how you game the system. So for those that missed the earlier discounted prices, they'll probably still go up again, and mining will probably become harder again. Um, Something I was thinking about earlier today, I haven't spoken to you guys about it, is what about if we double the amount of ores a user can get from the mine, but double the health of each ore?
We can do. I think what I think, and this is something we spoke about, Herc, is we don't want to make it too difficult for a new player to earn enough coal to make a rusty pickaxe, right? Because that's the first power spike you almost get, right? Because you're going from the peasant's hatchet doing 1 damage to your rusty pickaxe doing 2. So you double up straight away, right? That's kind of the first spike. And what you don't want is a user having to wait too long that they almost lose interest before they get the rusty pickaxe, right? Because at that point you can now start to get into the ecosystem. I think the challenge that we have and our balancing really is more on the how quick people can attain items that allow them to rapidly accelerate their mining activity. And I think what we spoke about as well was tying, at the moment, the tier of ore that you can mine is linked to the tool tier that you have, right? So if you have a silver pickaxe, you can mine all the way up to gold ore, for example. But tying in the level mechanic, what we could do is to say we can slowly ramp up the difficulty of the game, right? So that you don't have this I'm instantly hitting the plateau, right? Because of the pickaxe. So you can kind of ramp up the difficulty and scale with level difficulty and with the ore difficulty. So we can kind of combine the two factors to make it a more gradual increase, right? So I just don't want the barrier for entry for the new players to be too high.
Right. Yeah.
And I think also tying.
Aspect.
I think also tying in certain rewards for people using higher tier tools, so such as things is higher yield rates from using a pick on earlier ore types, right? If you got a molten pickaxe, which I don't think anyone has that yet, maybe apart from some developer accounts, but don't worry, those aren't active. That should, on a lower tier resource, provide more yield out of it compared to mining. These are yet to come, but I think the new ores might be like titanium, adamantium, and dragon glass. Looking forward to adding those at some point. But those you'd get far less at the tier you're supposed to be mining at compared to mining all the. It just creates this nice haptic feedback of like, wow, I've got this cool tool. Now I'm like rinsing these earlier ores. It feels great.
But there's still that difficulty factor on the later ores, right? Because you still want to always that challenge, right? Like that, you've got, and I feel it, right? I've got a silver pickaxe, right? So when I'm hitting gold, I'm still like, my God, just give me a block of coal so I can actually get through this thing, right?
By design, coal was the one I knew is going to be the most valuable.
I know, man. I see a gold come up, I'm like, oh, just give me another coal, man.
I feel the
best. Don't give me soot.
That's the best drop. I'm sorry, I love that one.
Oh man, do you guys remember when we first started? We were chatting about the game, right? And we came up with the idea. It was myself, Josh, Herc, at the bar in Cape Town, and we were like, when you mine, you could also get soot. I don't know if you guys remember us having the conversation about
100%.
How and I know how people bang their heads against the wall when they get a piece of it. It's like this kind of comedic relief as well, right? Where it's like, it's just it's a bit of a tongue in cheek.
Oh, geez, we're losing our team members.
You're dropping out. Okay.
Cool.
No, he's back.
Give them a second to join. Oh wait, hold on. Let me see.
Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
No, I was just saying, it's an interesting kind of tongue-in-cheek thing, but I just remember how much we were amused at the idea of getting soot when you've mined some or whatever it was, and I just always chuckle when I see someone on the Telegram dropping an image of them receiving soot. It makes me laugh.
I think soot was actually. Sorry, carry on, Herc.
So we were obviously in a test environment the other night, and Calvin purchased 10 loot boxes just to do some regression testing, and he literally got soot 9 out of 10 times. We were in stitches. Maybe it's a bit of karma, who knows? But it was literally it's comic. It's comic. It's pure comic relief. But I see Mo is in our YouTube chat. Welcome, Mo. Welcome, Log Crypto. My YouTube, I haven't looked at the YouTube chat pretty much the whole stream. Welcome, guys. Mo says he's intrigued. Maybe we do a stream with Mo.
Come to the dark side, Mo.
Guys, for those that are still here with us, don't forget to go follow us on YouTube. We'll try and do maybe not weekly, maybe bi-monthly streams. As soon as there's a bit of a big patch, or we want to discuss the next step forward, we'll hop on a stream, potentially get some of you guys on the stream, on the spaces, whatever we're doing. And yeah, so don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah. All right.
Are there any other things we wanted to touch on?
Well,
I mean,
see.
this
Sorry,
week
this
is
is
possibly, yeah.
sorry. In our Telegram, DJ DeBoss is asking a question. He says, "Is there an incentive for the project to have people deposit Titan X versus ETH? If so, could maybe implement a deposit tax when depositing ETH might drive more adoption to Titan X?"
No, there is already a tax for.
No, so I think if you deposit Titan X or Ethereum, there's zero tax. If you deposit any of the other Titan X ecosystem cryptos, there's a 6% tax because we facilitate the routing for you, whatever the case is.
Sorry,
So
no,
yeah,
Titan X there's no tax. On Ethereum, there is a tax.
There is a
is
tax
there
on
a
Ethereum. I
tax?
thought so.
Yes, there's a tax on all ERC20 tokens and Ethereum. Titan X, there's no tax.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we
So
go.
there you go.
I already
been
have that.
corrected. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, guys, it's possibly been one of the craziest weeks of my life. I don't know about you guys. It's been an emotional roller coaster. But I think all in all, guys are very happy with the state of the game. And, we're in a very stable state. There are still like one or two small edge cases when guys lose connection and, whatever it is. A game's never going to be perfect. I mean, No Man's Sky got $500 million funding. They had bugs for years. So what we built here in 3 months, we are competing with companies that have teams of hundreds of developers and marketers and everything. And look at the rankings. I still can't believe we're that high in play to earn. We're above Illuvian. They've been developing that game for how many years? So I think pats on the back all around, guys. We've really done a great job. But this is only the beginning.
Yeah, this is where the work actually starts now, I'd say.
One last thing here. Let's see. Can we discuss the potential to reduce the amount of ore you mine? The market is overloaded with ore because coal is mined. Yeah, so I think what's going to happen is a lot of guys with the payout on the weekend. We suspect not a lot of. I mean, the best outcome would be for the payout to be distributed fairly evenly across the board. One guy taking $1,500, for example, is not the outcome we're looking for. We're hoping, that the highest would be about $400 or $500, and then lowest, if you do 100 damage, you're going to get a couple of probably like 5 Titan X or whatever the case is. But the best outcome would be if the payout is quite evenly distributed because then that money is most likely going to stay in the ecosystem and clear out the market. Because then users will be like, I need gold, I need silver, I need this X, Y, Z. They're going to clear out the market. Then next week when we launch, or probably end of next week when we launch the Christmas event, that's a whole nother set of positive inflows into the ecosystem. Just as a side note for those that are still with us, be there on time. Our testers had Josh, what was the boss HP when you guys tested? It was like 5 million?
We tested 1 million, actually. Yeah.
1 million.
1 million with user testing of 100 users, active users, hitting it with, I would say, the Warhammer. And that boss HP was gone in roughly 5 minutes. And the boss that's actually going live, obviously this is a bit of pre-meta, but it's going to have about 20 million HP. But yeah, we're expecting a lot of users to be tapping their screens on Saturday. Yeah, don't be late.
Yeah,
Looks like
so I was about to say that. I think we can scrap our entire rollover mechanic. I mean, it's never the users aren't going to let it get there.
They're not going to let this thing roll over.
Yeah, that module we can go delete right now.
I would also say is obviously we did user testing with every user having a Warhammer, but I don't think there's many players with a weapon higher than a War Stick. There's a couple with the Warhammer, a couple with the short sword, and I think there was a Serpent Staff today that sold in the market, so that's amazing that that item has entered the market now. I feel sorry whoever sold it at such a low price, but it is what it is. Kudos to that guy. Yeah, someone got a bargain. But there's not many.
That War Stick would have paid. It wasn't the War Stick. It was the Serpent Staff. I mean,
It was
that
a
thing would have
Serpent
paid
Staff,
itself off on Saturday, but clearly someone was in a rush. So and someone got lucky. The guys that are watching the market permanently, they are getting great deals.
100%.
And
Yep.
yeah. I mean, there's a couple of guys that say they're mining. Sorry, what's that?
Did you see some of the artifacts that have been sold? Some of the artifacts have gone for, say, 100 million. And I think people don't understand. I mean, if you have enough material to make one of those legendary weapons,
you can just resell.
And you don't have that artifact, that could be worth a lot more than what we're seeing on the marketplace right now. So I think it might just be that people don't have the material to make the legendaries just yet, as to why the kind of demand isn't high enough.
But also, I think a lot of people weren't in our previous spaces or I don't know where I said it, where I kind of explained to them the logic of how the pricing should work. So if the molten pickaxe has a 0.01% chance of being dropped in a loot box, you essentially need to buy 1,000 loot boxes to get the molten pickaxe. Then your cost would essentially be, give or take, similar to what 1,000 loot boxes would be. That should be the market fair price. And I mean, we haven't quite seen that. And I think once we start bringing in the historical data, sorry for the guys that are sniping the deals in the market, but users would see, similar to what happens on Steam, is you've got the price history. And then unfortunately, unless someone needs money today for lunch, they'll sell it at a good price.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, I think we've covered most of our bases here. Withdrawals are working well. Thanks for the patience, but we are keeping other people's funds, and that is the most important. Above the game being fun, above the game, mechanics, whatever the case is, we are keeping other people's funds. And if whoever's upset about the daily withdrawal limits or timeout, then unfortunately this game isn't for you. But I think the majority of the people agree that they'd rather have their funds safe. So everyone's been pretty understanding. I mean, I said that on the group afterwards, and Calvin, you also provided guys with some clarity, and everyone kind of clicked. And there's also very few guys that have current balances of more than 250 million Titan X. As soon as user balances increase, we'll increase that.
Absolutely. We're talking affecting a handful of players, and we understand that. We hear you, right? Like, I'm fully on board with that. But what we're trying to protect is everyone's funds. And I was saying in the group chat, right, at work, we send funds out the door, and these payments are millions of pounds or whatever they might be, and we have the same principle, right? When you are protecting people's money, that is the number one priority for your firm. Always, right, is the protection of those assets. So I think we've taken some pretty firm steps on that path. I still, and we all know, kind of, we're going to be automating the reconciliation and the approvals and authorization process. We've built the withdrawals mechanism in such a way it can be expanded into an automated withdrawals process and flow, but that just takes some time. And we want to see the data, and we want to just make sure we're in a very stable place before we start enabling that real smooth auto withdrawal process, just to make sure we're kind of dotting the I's and crossing the T's as much as we can in the interim. But it's built in mind that we'll be moving to an automated withdrawals process. I want to reiterate that, because we're not going to be sitting there manually approving everyone's transactions, but all of the mechanisms are built in such a way that it's safety first, but can be automated.
Exactly.
Sure.
And obviously, as you said, we'll be upping that max withdrawal limit, as the game grows, and,
For sure.
Guys with bigger balances want to pull out, that's great. We'll get to that point.
And fight for your lives on Saturday. I want to see some broken screens on Twitter. If anybody can tap the screen hard enough to crack it, we might give you a loot box.
Oh,
The
we've got to give
consolidation
them
prize.
maybe we'll throw an iPhone redeem code to go get a new phone inside a
Redeem
box.
your iPhone code. Jeez.
Go to the iStore.
Let me see. Okay, if there's no other questions from the community, guys, don't forget to please subscribe to the YouTube. I'm pretty sure everyone that's busy watching on Twitter does follow us. Here it's saying we have 181 viewers. I don't think that is live. Before I end this, let me just see how many live viewers we have on Twitter. That would actually be quite an interesting stat. I can't see that. Let me go see. Oh, geez, it is 179 guys watching this live, guys.
Amazing, absolutely amazing.
Wild. Okay, well, guys, thanks for tuning in.
Look,
If there's any last words from you guys,
any alpha for the guys battling on Saturday?
be there on time. Be there on time, and for the couple of guys or couple of hundred guys that were in our early access, well, actually, it's probably like 80 odd. There will be one or two tweaks. So
Yep.
yeah, nothing major, but if you guys are familiar with the previous mechanic, it's very similar to mining. For guys that haven't experienced the boss battle yet, it is very similar to mining. But yeah, there will be one or two tweaks. And also, there's one drop after the boss. So everyone gets their payouts proportionate to how much damage they do. But then there's one, is it an epic item? It's an epic or legendary item that gets dropped to one user.
It depends on the boss. So each boss, there are 3 different bosses currently within the game, and each boss has 2 drops, which is an epic and a legendary, which is a crafting material. And each boss each week has a chance to drop to a lucky player one of those drops.
Yeah. So, and it's not dependent on damage. So you could come in there, do 12 damage, and you could get the drop. So, yeah, we're excited for Saturday. May the best man or yeah, best woman or cavewoman, caveman, get their payouts.
But yeah, amazing guys. Thanks for chatting.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for dialing in, guys. Cheers.